Hey guys, welcome to the Tie Jam. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am Kristen Lumsden and this is my friend
Danielle Omo.
And we are really excited today to work with you. We are focusing today on the QL and Psoas. They are supporting muscles and commonly have issues if you sit a lot. For me, I'm having issues with mine because of doing, but a lot of times we have issues. You'll feel pain throughout your hip. You'll feel pain in your low back between your ribs and like your hips. And the pain might radiate through the hip and you won't really know where it's coming from, but it's actually all these muscles surrounding that are kind of tighten up and ganging up. And we're gonna work on loosening those today.
Sounds great.
You wanna receive first?
I am very excited to receive first. My low back is good butt.
Wonderful, so you guys can check now. We are showing you a little bit of anatomy. Here is the QL and the Psoas, and you will see all the different muscles we are going to be addressing. All right, pick your booty up and I'll get this out the way.
Face down or face up?
I say we start face down.
Sounds great.
So go ahead and get your receiver face down. They can either use the pillow or not, whatever is best for them. So we're gonna start by just warming up her body. We're gonna do a little rocking to her hips. So you can see here, I have my foot. I'm using like the ball pad of my foot as I'm rocking her. I'm here in like the fatty part of her glute, the top upper part. I'm just giving her a little bit of jostle and trying to soften.
Very muscular glute.
Very muscular glute. She's obviously been working out.
Correct. Squats for days.
Is that pressure okay? So check in with your receiver. Danielle doesn't like a lot of pressure, so I tend to kind of hold back for her because that's what she wants. You don't want to give more than your receiver would like to receive. If your receiver wants more, you can lean in. And basically I would be, say if I didn't have my foot on here, say if I did, I would kind of lean in with my elbow on my leg to give more pressure, but Danielle doesn't want that, so I will not torture her because she's my friend.
So you say.
And so I felt like I was kind of being rough as I was rocking her. I'm just gonna take my foot down. You guys don't have a full mat most likely at home, so you won't have to deal with the creases, but I just have to adjust so that my foot's not in a crease and I have a secure base as I'm rocking her. So the point with this is we're trying to soften her glutes. At the same time as we're softening her glutes, you will see the movement that's going on in the body below your foot. We're rocking all these erectors, like the muscles that go up the spine, right? Your QL is this wonderful muscle here. So as I'm rocking her hips, you'll see that there's movement that's going on through all of these muscles to kind of start waking things up and loosening up, hopefully. So I'm gonna go to the other side, start loosening. Whenever you find a good spot, I'm gonna soften a little bit before. Where you put your hands might help balance. I like to put mine kind of on my head or behind my head if I'm feeling a little shaky. My left foot is not as stable as my right, so I tend to kind of do that. So I found a nice thick spot here. So I'm just gonna take a second. She approves. I'm just gonna give her a nice steady compression. Slowly coming out. I'll go right below it, nice little compression. A little more jostle. Ooh, I got a little high on her bone. I'm sure that it was like, woo. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and shifted right back down. One thing you will encounter is these high-waisted pants are very misleading, so you have to feel for bony structures. Right? So we don't want to push on the bony structure. We want to push on the nice muscular glute. Is that pressure okay? So you can see I'm giving her a little bit more pressure here. You see my hand here resting. Just that extra weight, the gravity of my body weight leaning into her makes a difference. So when you're doing this without us later on, you guys are practicing, feel free to spend a lot more time there. That is like some delicious work, but I'm just gonna move on because you know me, I like to give you way too much information.
I do love delicious booty work.
Yeah, this is gonna probably hurt pushing you into that heating pad. So we're just gonna palm press up the body. I'm using the soft part of my palms, but do remember that your palms could be sharp. I've recently discovered that I've got sharp palms. Thank you, Danielle, for letting me know. My clients will just say ow, and they don't say that's sharp. So now it's new news to be aware to use a more soft hand, especially when you're coming up through the calves. We're just working our way up to her hamstrings, which also contribute to QL psoas pain. A lot of us sit throughout the day at a computer desk or wherever you are with work. And so you will get tight hamstrings, tight quads, and all these things are pulling. And as you see, well, here you go, you can see the muscles on screen. As you are doing this work and palm pressing up, don't ever let your arms be so far ahead of your body that you're straining your low back. Say if your arms are a good distance, you could stay here, right? We get to this part of the hamstrings, I'm just leaning over. If you catch yourself far back, go ahead and bring yourself up. This contact is okay. It makes the client know that we are here, we are working, and our body is protected and our back is protected, and that's important. So I'm again just palm walking up Danielle's hamstrings. Once I get to the crease where the hamstrings and her glutes meet, I'm gonna give a steady compression. I'll go ahead and put my hands to the outside of her hips. I'm gonna pop my legs up. I'm putting my knees right there where the glutes and the hamstrings meet. Take a deep breath in. With my hands, I'm gonna press right above her bones, right above her hips, into the QL, the soft part. As far as bony structures you need to be concerned about, we have our floating ribs here, right? Floating ribs. And here we have our SI joint. So we want to press right between. Deep breath in and out. Too much pressure?
No, it's fine.
Deep breath in. So I recognize that the last pressure was maybe a little bit too much. I heard her kind of gasping for air at the end. I like my friend, so I just gave her a little bit less. But you never know, your body might say, hey, a little more. And that's awesome. We want communication. We want to know what you like. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to listen to your breath and your eyes. I'm going to watch them. And I'll adjust accordingly because we never want to give too much. We never want to overwhelm our receiver. We just want to meet them where they're at and help them feel better. Deep breath. I find breathing helps a lot with getting some release. It's hard to breathe in if someone's pressing into your ribs. So I like to press as they exhale. Right now I'm just doing some cross body. As I'm pressing on the left side, I'm pressing away on the right side, just trying to open things up. Have you been having any QL pain?
Yes.
Has the right side been bothering you more than the left?
Yep.
Yeah, I can feel it. So as you begin to practice, for those of you that are at home and are not massage therapists, you will start to understand when there is a problem in the muscle. You will feel a different tone on either side. I can feel that my right hand isn't quite sinking as much as the left hand is. And I can feel more, it just feels thicker.
That's what I want to hear. That I'm sick.
You're thick with 2 Ks. Take a deep breath in. Now I'm going to drop my hands down into her glutes, the top of her glutes, and with the exhale, I'm going to press in. I'm kind of following, you know, when you see on the hips and you see anatomy, they're shaped like this, right? So I'm kind of coming in and I'm hitting the glutes, the medius, the minimus and deep. We're hitting a little bit of the maximus. We're hitting all the glutes. So this time I'm going to slowly get up. I'm going to step to one side. I'm going to come to her right side because why not? So in this area, you will find your bony structures again, right? The way I like to find where the ribs end is with the back of my hand. Lots of people are ticklish, so coming in and poking, it's going to be too much. So I come in with the back of my hand and just feel for where her ribs end. I feel the floating ribs, and right below where the ribs stop, I know that that's the point where I don't want to go past. I want to do my first compression right here in this spot. So I'm coming down, straight down with the flat bottom part of my elbow, right? And I'm going to stay away from her spine. I don't want to press on her spine. I want to press right next to it in this yummy, let's see, oh, there you go. In this yummy muscle here. Deep breath in. And out. So as we go into compressions, we always go broad to specific. So we go with a larger broad tool, right? I'm using my big foot to shake, using my hands to palm press, and now I'm coming in with a more specific tool, my elbow. Anytime I work, I go in slowly, I come out slowly. Here you can see some of the muscles that we're addressing. So you can see by that last photo where the attachment attaches on the leg, that is why I like to work the quads and hamstrings. Everything is connected. So I like to work the surrounding muscles of the pain, go directly to the pain. You can see I'm just hanging out. I'm not pressing crazy into Danielle. I'm just leaning in. With her breath out, I'm gonna come out. I'm just gonna go a little bit lower, but again, I'm not gonna hit her bone. Take a deep breath in. And is that pressure good, Danielle?
Yes. Good.
You have this extra hand, so you could give a little length. That might kind of take from what we're doing here with our compression. Danielle, are you noticing it's taking away from the compression slightly?
Not really.
Okay, good.
It feels nice though.
So then I'm going to slowly come out. See how slow I'm coming out? So at this time, I'm going to come in from an angle. So I was on top, right? Now I'm sliding to the side, and I'm going to use that little point of my elbow, and I'm hooking in to her QL. Another deep breath in. And then perfect. And so our first point, we want to be right underneath the floating rib to where we're not hitting the rib. We're into her QL, her erectors are right there. We're basically coming at it from the side. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the muscle to release. We're giving it some input, hoping it has some reaction to let go. It also feels really, really delicious when your QL is bothering you.
Are you hungry?
What?
Are you hungry?
Why do you ask that? Because I keep saying delicious? I'm on a diet. I've eaten salad all day. Busted. Oh, shoot.
I want to hear more about my delicious foodie.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, it feels so good. I gotta stop laughing.
How's that rocking?
It is so good.
So I kind of started, I was doing a static hold. Now I've decided since she's so giggly, I was going to rock her a little bit.
Get me back in line.
Yeah, she's acting up. Got to get her right. You're having too much fun, Danielle. So I'm going to slowly come out. Let's go to the other side. Once again, I do come up, I just noticed I did that. I come up and I just kind of barely lightly feel where we're going here. I don't give any pokiness with my finger. I use the back side of my hand, locate where that floating rib is. Boop. All right. And I come in with this flat piece of my elbow. And when she exhales, I sink in. She gave me the thumbs up. She likes it. So your partner or roommate or friend is complaining their back is hurting. Say, hey, lay down. Let's watch TV. I can sit here and just lean on you and work on you at the same time, right? Make you think formal. Just kind of help each other out. This specifically is very slow moving. A lot of Thai is slow moving. So it doesn't take a lot of effort to work on one another to help reduce some discomfort in your muscles from a long day of work. If you have any friends that do Pilates, they would probably love this work that we're doing right now. I know the first muscle on my body that gets mad is my psoas and QL when I'm doing Pilates. So I came out again. I'm going to do one little spot lower. Have her breathe in and sinking in on the exhale. Once again, I got this hand just sitting here. And just give her a little bit of space. Just kind of pressing her muscles away from the spine. I'm going to slowly come out. Once again, I'm going to slide to the side using just this part of my elbow. And I'm going to slide in, coming at it from an angle. So here's her muscle. I'm basically coming at it from the side. Before I was coming straight above. Woo. Now I'm trying to come straight at an angle. I don't know if you can really tell. There you go. Beep.
It's good.
Too much pressure?
It's good.
Danielle's been walking up a lot of hills lately, working out. Glutes are getting tight. QL's a little tight. She was due for some work and didn't even know it. So the plan today is that Danielle and I are going to show you a couple of different ways. I'm going to show 2 different ways to do a stretch, and she's going to show you a couple of different ways. So as you go partner to partner, after we're done today with the Thai Jam, feel free to kind of try the other way on one another. Whichever way I showed the giver right now, the receiver can try it afterwards and see what you guys think about giving that and receiving that. There's just so many different ways you can stretch and work on the body that we just want to give you a couple options, because depending on how your body sizes up to your receiver's body, it will change what you want to do. Also, weight will make a change as well. Say if you have a client with a really heavy leg, maybe one option would be better than the other, or vice versa. So I'm going to slowly come out of this compression. I'm just going to do a little bit of pressing away from the spine. Walking my hands up and down the erectors, a little bit into the QL. I got my right hand in the top of her glute at the top of the hip. Giving a nice stretch. And I'm always kind of walking one palm at a time, changing the position, moving lower down in the glute. Moving higher or lower with my other hand to just give a nice cross-body stretch, Let the hip feel like, hey, I'm here, we're getting warm.
I like that bottom hand.
It's always a nice sweet spot. So right now my hand is basically right on her bone, right on her leg bone here.
Getting all those beautiful attachments. Delicious booty attachments.
And my last palm on this hand will be in the middle of her hamstring, kind of at the top. And a nice one here, right above the QL. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. This is just a real basic warm up, just giving a little bit of space between the muscles and the attachments. Once again, my left hand now is going to be at the top of her hip. Ooh, yeah, I can tell the difference in the two hips. Right hand is going to be giving a little space. Basically, my pinky is just at the bottom of her shoulder blade. But depending on how big your hands are, me giving you that bony landmark won't really matter. Feel free to kind of explore as you're going hand to hand and pressing in opposite directions. If you're lucky, your receiver will make little noises or thumb you up and let you know you're doing good. I hear Danielle, she likes it.
I do like it. Feels so good.
So you can see that big old glute max, the glute medius. You can see how all these supporting muscles interlock and work together. And there's the yummy one. Pressing down that big head of the leg. All those, I almost said yummy attachments. I don't know why that's my word of choice today, guys, but I hope you weren't like trying to be on a diet too, because I'm just going to get you going. Oh. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a psoas stretch. The first option I'm going to show you, because we have about 5-ish, maybe 8-ish before it's time for us to change, because we like to do 2 30-minute trades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my receiver has enough space between her knees. Naturally, the receiver will just automatically change and give a little space, but I just like to make sure. So first things first, I'm just going to cross her feet and give her a little quad stretch. Just say, all right. Is that enough, Danielle?
Yeah.
As we said, she's been working out. Hill walker. Right? Some people, you could push their feet all the way to their glutes. Some people, maybe you'd stop here. With Danielle, we're about in the midline. And she's growling at me.
It's like super inflexible.
It's all good.
It should be more flexible.
We don't need to be flexible. We just want those muscles to be a little warmed up before we do a deep stretch. You know, it'll be, so it's not shocking. So once I feel like I've done a nice little stretch, and while we were doing that, you could have pushed on the toes a little bit. I'm not big into toe work. I'm like, stay off my toes, homie. So I don't tend to work too much on people's toes unless they're into that biz. So I'm going to cross one foot underneath the other. I'm just going to give some easy compressions along the opposing hamstring, kind of in the IT band slightly. It's where it's where the hamstring's connecting in to the IT band, just to give a little attention. And then I'm going to shift my body away from the foot that is up in the air, right? So I'm facing my guns forward. I'm going to come in and have an overhand reach. I have my leg up here to support my back. I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And this nice part here in the QL, we're going to press there. And as she breathes out, and she told me that's enough. So you see where her range of motion is. As I lower the leg, I'm lowering slowly, still applying pressure in her QL. Deep breath in. And out. Remembering the same range of motion from last time, about here. So this is a great version if your arm to leg ratio is, if your client has a heavier leg, if your back is bothering you, you know, different things like that. this would be a great version. We want to go ahead and do the opposite side because we care about our friend. We want them to feel nice and balanced. So instead of pressing all my weight on Danielle here, because this can be very tender, I'm just kind of leaning in and holding myself back some. Danielle, is that pressure good for you?
Great.
I figured so. Is that hurting your calf, having your foot push in? Janky ankle. Be aware of janky ankles and tight calves. As we're pressing this in, it might be too much for their calves. So do be aware, we can adjust it, no problem. So I'm coming up with, on my left knee, with my right knee in the air, I'm reaching around and over, doing a overhand grip on her knee. Take a deep breath in. And I'm leaning back into my left knee. We've already done this two sides and the other side, so I know about her range of motion, but the range of motion for the two sides will differ. Deep breath in. In. Perfect. So the last thing I'm going to show you before we switch. So that is one way to do it. The other way would be, we're going to grab the foot, stand across the body. I tell Danielle to take a deep breath in and breath out. I like to stand at about the hip because this is a general good place to stand. Relax your leg. There you go. To get a good range of motion. Am I hurting your ankle? Is this the bad ankle?
It is, but you're not hurting it.
But I'm not hurting it, pulling on it? Okay. And do be aware if a client or if your receiver has a issue with the sprains, twists, and they have a weak ankle, it might be easier for them. You pull from here. So I'm going to bring my foot up a little higher. I don't think she wants much more range of motion, but I'm going to give her a little bit more. Deep breath in. And is that range of motion good for you? Cool. A little more or no?
No, it's good.
Cool.
I know I'm oily, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I'm being gentle with Danielle. She's got a hurt footsie. All right, you ready? Take a deep breath in. I'm bringing in my left foot high on the hip. Deep breath. And deep breath in. I'll kind of swing the leg if you're like Danielle and they're holding it. Deep breath in. And very nice. All right, how is that, Danielle?
That was amazing. I have legs.
You have legs. Awesome, guys. So let's go ahead at this time and we're gonna take a quick little bathroom break if you need to, switch places, let your receiver stretch out a little bit if they need, and then we will go ahead and switch places. Danielle is gonna show us a couple things and maybe a couple of different approaches that might give you some other options on ways to work on one another. All right, see you in a second.